Doubles have been okay. 3 hits from 8. Double 10.
Game
And
shot,
that is a
and
really
match,
good
Jamie
final
Durrant.
dart in that visit. He gets the ideal start in Group C. Martin Grierson has got some stuff to think about. But at the end of that one, it's JD who wins. Jamie Durrant 4, Martin Grierson 0.
Require 95.
Now has the option of going 19s again.
I've barely seen anyone go for bull first dart this week. You know, the old school way of going.
Used to be the new school.
It's double 16.
Game shot on the
Like
second
I
leg.
said,
Benito van der
The
Pels.
trends continue in the 5s, the bounce out, but give him a dart or a double, and that trend continues also. For the one time I really fancied him to do something there.
Require 20.
And you can see how angry he is because that's been the part of his game. He's enjoyed thinking, well, that hasn't left me just yet. And you don't give this man a second opportunity.
Game
And what
shot,
an
and a match,
outstanding
Colin
win for
Osborne.
Colin Osborne. It's 2 from 2 from the Teessiders. Colin Osborne beats Benito van der Pas 4-1. Next up, Justin Smith versus Chris Quantock.
And this is a
Justin
decent
Require
start from
96.
a man who's not wearing his country colours today. Might be
Game
saving
shot
one of those
first leg,
shirts for the next
Justin
couple of
Smith.
days. Because he might be just like Colin Osborne. He might have packed for 10 days instead of 3.
Require 20.
A second chance, and he doesn't
Game
need
shot,
any more.
and a match,
Justin Smith overall was the best player in that match, but he did dodge a couple of bullets. Quantock tried to get back into the match, but couldn't. And it's Smith who wins by 4 legs to 2.
91.
Types of throws, but they're getting back to where they want to be as Osborne looks at 91. Very aggressive. Very
Game shot on the
efficient.
third leg, Colin
And
Osborne.
super effective. It's all one-way traffic right now. That 91 finish will feel absolutely tremendous with Jamie sat on
Fourth
the
leg, Colin to
2
throw.
darter. One more time, no more. I'm super proud of everything he's doing. You can see the frustration. That's how far he's come. But to be the Teesside top dog, it's 2 darts, a double 8.
Game shot,
Colin
and a
Osborne,
match,
solid.
Colin Osborne.
Very efficient, very effective, and a fantastic whitewash 4-0 victory in the Battle of the Teessiders. Next up, it's Chris Quantock against the returning Martin Grierson.
Chris Require 40.
And this for a clean, confident performance from Chris Quantock. We've waited all week for this. And just
Game
sneaks
shot,
that double
and a
10. He'd be
match,
feeling
Chris
rather
Quantock.
good about himself because he's put himself in them positions this week and just hasn't got over the winning line. Chris Quantock is up and running. Next up, it's Benito van der Pas against the very impressive Justin Smith. His best 3 darts.
139.
Potentially his last.
Justin Require 16. Game shot,
And
a
that's a
match,
wrap.
Justin Smith.
It's Justin Smith with a big 4-2 victory over Benito van der Pas. It's all smiles, but it's Justin Smith who continues his charge. Benito 4-2 down, and next up would be Jamie Durrant versus Chris Quantock.
By
Too ruthless.
90.
You're not going to get many chances against Chris Quantock when he's playing well. He has to take out this bullseye.
Game shot on the second
Not only
leg,
does he take
Jamie
it, Paul,
Durrant.
that is plumb in the middle. And I know when Jamie's feeling good because he stands and he looks aggressively at the dartboard, and that's a
Third
sign
leg,
for
Jamie
me
to throw
that he's
first.
feeling good about
Game
himself.
on.
And a second, because Quanny's on tops. And he
Game
takes
shot
a
on the third
lovely
leg,
91
Chris
out for an
Quantock.
18 darter, and he's very much back in this game.
Types of moments, and he's going to get a dart or a double. And that double is going to be tops. He resets, he breathes, and he
Game shot,
executes a
and a match,
magnificent
Jamie
103 finish. His first century plus of the week, and what a time to do it. That is all about timing, and he'd be absolutely buzzing by that. 2 good friends. Big respect by Chris Quantock there. Really enjoyable game. Jamie Durrant with an 83.46. 4 from 5 on the outer ring. An outstanding performance and a big win. But what a game coming up next. The 2 big heavyweights, Colin Osborne versus Justin Smith. I can't wait for that one. Back after the short break.
Needs is the green.
Game shot,
Pots it
and a match,
and
Colin
gets a
Osborne.
very valuable 2 points. They both acknowledge that they didn't really play that well. But ultimately this game and this format, it's all about getting 2 points. The Wizard now has 6 in the table and Justin Smith will remain on 4. So the final result in that one, it's Osborne 4, Justin Smith 2. please
Benito
listen to what you're doing.
158.
You couldn't miss double top. And double 16 has given you so much in the way of problems. And Van der Pas almost made you pay for it.
88.
Some of them angles
Martin, you
again,
require
but it's over to
32.
Grease. He's got to be aggressive. He did hit double 16. Really followed through that arm. He keeps hitting that side there. The double 8, he'd be glad to change the target area.
Game shot.
I'm so
and
glad he
match,
smacked it
Martin
right in the
Grierson.
middle of the bed then. It's his first 2 points in the Motor Super Series. And for Benito, it's just maybe a step too far for him this week. For Martin Grierson for his first 2 points. An exciting game that went the full 7 legs. Big game coming up next for Colin Osborne, who's played 3-1-3, and he's up against the unpredictable Chris Quantock. Going to be Yellow Klassen versus Ricky Evans in the Warwickshire Invitational, and they decided, they agreed beforehand.
190.
Outstanding stuff from Quantock again, and that was ridiculous. 9 minutes for 9 legs. It was insane.
45. Chris
Quantock
Quantock 65.
to stay in the match. Full credit to him. He got the 180 to leave 65.
I think that's in for double 12.
Game
That's
shot
in
of the
double
6 leg,
12.
Chris
So we're going all the
Quantock.
Chris
way.
Chris
Quantock,
require
what
24.
are you made of?
Game
Made
shot
of Yorkshire
and a match,
steel
Chris
is what he tells you.
Quantock.
That's a big, big win, and so interesting for the stats of this group. Who's beginning to run away with it was Colin Osborne, but that will bunch every single player back up. And well done to Chris Quantock. He's been a little bit unpredictable, but he'll be absolutely delighted against the top of the table man. Big game coming up next for Jamie Durrant, up against Benito Van der Pas, who's still searching for his first points. Anything you can do,
Benito
Jamie.
require 40.
Benito's been lethal on his doubles. What
Game
a
shot
match.
and a
What
match.
a
Benito
real
Van der
fighting
Pas.
qualities there. You can see the disappointment from Jamie Durrant there. But big respect, big kudos there to Benito Van der Pas. Been a difficult week, and it was bounce out after bounce out. But he gets over the line in a 7-leg thriller. He'll be absolutely delighted to get his first 2 points on the board. And next up, Justin Smith versus Martin Grierson. This
32.
is to go joint top. It wasn't pretty at times. He widens that bed again.
Good luck with this one.
Yeah, I think he's going right. That's better from there.
He's going to need a fishing line and a hook with this.
The good news for him is that Martin's on a 210, so I'd be thinking, don't hit the 7.
Game
What
shot
a
and
dart
match,
that is.
Justin Smith.
And he holds it. We can see the funny side of it, because that last dart was thrown from about 9 foot. But it's Justin Smith that gets over the winning line. You won't want to remember that game, but right at the end, he just pulled out his best darts when he needed to. And Justin Smith goes on to 6 points. He's looking to get through to Saturday night, and he's beginning to make his move. And next up, fresh from his first victory, it's Benito Van der Pas versus Chris Quantock.
113.
For treble 19, for double 18.
Game shot of the first
Wasn't
leg,
at his
Chris
best for a big
Quantock.
part of that match, but that finishing was absolutely sublime. With time
Chris,
over to you,
96.
Chris Quantock.
Benito coming up empty. And
Game
Kwani
shot and a
having the
match, Chris
ideal end to the
Quantock.
day. So that means that he will finish Thursday on 6 points, and his leg difference has just been given an injection as well. It will finish at +4, which means he is definitely in the hunt when it comes to Friday. The final round of games will progress as we have Martin Grierson up against Colin Osborne after this. We're not going to get a 90 in the bull from Martin, but we might get double 15
Game shot of the
for
second leg,
2-0.
Martin Grierson.
And this is very much against the run of play.
You, Martin Grierson.
Martin, you require 8.
For a second win of the day. It's Desmond.
Game shot
And he finds a
and match,
4-1 win against
Martin
Osborne.
Grierson.
And that shrinks his leg difference to +5. As for Martin Grierson, 4 points. And his goes to -4. He still has a lot to do tomorrow. But I assure you, he walks away from Thursday very, very pleased. One match to go. It's Justin Smith against Jamie Durrant.
He may go for his 2 double 4 route, which he prefers. Just resets himself. First part of the job done.
Game shot
That's
and
a
a match,
clinical finish
Justin
to a-
Smith.
A strange game for Justin. and he finishes on 8 points without playing anywhere near his best. But Jamie Durrant, he can't wait to get off that stage. Everything was going so well until he came up against that Benito game, and that had the after effects on there. But it's Justin Smith who'll be heading the pack with Colin Osborne right behind him. But big shout out for Chris Quantock as well, who sat in there 6 points. All to play for tomorrow. Join us back for Group C in the morning. Sorry, at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Nixon's with me up here on the balcony to reflect on what we've seen. Let's begin with Justin Smith, because he's a table topper overnight. He won 4 out of his 5 matches, but he will still feel there's a lot to give still.
There's a lot to give, but when he settles down in maybe 2 or 3 hours and he looks at that table, he's going to think, yeah, that went pretty well considering the level of play I was showing all day. And there's so much in the way of gears to find for Justin. It's just a question of whether he needs them.
Well, let's have a look at the table then, following the first day's players. You see Justin Smith at the top, Colin Osborne in second place on 6 points. And to be honest, he'll kind of feel the same as Justin to a certain extent.
Yeah, I think so. He started quite well. He looked really calm, composed and energised. But that game in the middle with Justin, I think it took something out of him. He really shouldn't have lost that game. I don't think either player should have lost that game considering the levels that they both showed. But it was a very strange second half of play. In the first half, it was quite predictable as far as what could possibly happen. But I think things have been flipped around for the benefit of everybody, because now the table, it's pretty much whoever plays their best on Friday could well make their way through in the top 2.
What do you make of Chris Quantock today?
Not bad. There were some good signs, and I think he'll be quite pleased with his position considering that most of the week he's not really been in the running to be a qualifier. But now he's got 1 day to do it. I'd watch out for him tomorrow.
And down the bottom, that could get quite tasty.
Just like the Premier League. No matter where you look, whether it's at the top, qualification places, or to the bottom, it's always pretty tasty. But I think anybody can qualify tomorrow, and that's what I like about the second day. The last thing we needed was someone to stretch their legs on 10 and everybody to be out of contention. We like tight groups, and that's exactly what we've got.
It's certainly going to be an interesting day tomorrow in Group C, that is for sure. But the action isn't done for the day here at the Live Lounge Reports, because we're going to be back at 10 o'clock this evening on Sporty Stuff TV and the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. It's going to see the beginning of Group B, and it's going to see a couple of recognisable voices, shall we say, make their debuts on that stage behind us. Matthew Edgar and Scott Mitchell, 2 people we've spent a lot of time with in the commentary box, but now they're going to grace that stage behind us.
See, now they're going to understand how I felt in Week 12 of Super Series 2 and how Chris Mason felt in Week 12 of Super Series 2. It's not easy up there, guys, so give yourself a break. But they've got a great chance of qualification. Scott's played really well for England recently, and obviously Matthew Edgar won the Iceland Masters in the last few days. So over to you guys. I hope you play well. We're wishing you well.
Although we do get that unique opportunity to have a little bit of payback in the commentary booth.
Maybe a little bit, but I'm going to be kind to those guys. They're 2 really great chaps, and I just hope they play well.
And to be fair, the group altogether, we saw Andreas Harrison play really well, and Jim McEwen just does what Jim McEwen does.
Yeah, Jim, much better on Wednesday, and now we have to watch out for his 180 shooting, because that's really clicked into gear. As far as the engine's concerned, it's not as much of a question mark for tonight as it was the last time he was here, because he was on the back of a lot of darts. Not so much this time, so he should be feeling a little bit fresher. The Swede, always going to be dangerous. Richie Parkin, watch out for him, because the last time he was here, it was an unknown quantity. Not anymore.
Most certainly not. Talking about fresher, we better go and get a bit of shut-eye before tonight's session, shouldn't we?
I'm not going to be shutting my eyes. I can't wait to get started with tonight.
Well, luckily for you, you don't have to wait too long. 10 p.m. we begin here on Sporty Stuff TV and the Modus Super Series YouTube channel. But as far as Group C is concerned, well, it was the bearded dragon who breathed fire into life at the Live Lounge.